Hey everyone, my name's Chris and I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever, and today we have a very special episode planned because today is the season 4 finale, Goodbye Toby.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I've been very much looking forward to this moment. Very, very much.
It's also when we're going to be hearing from the top 3 contestants of the Michael Scott Parody song, so special. This one was written by Paul Lieberstein himself and Jeniffer Celotta, and it was directed by Paul Feig. It first aired on May 15th, 2008, was viewed by 8 million people, and currently has a 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb. People like this episode. Okay, so this will be good. The trivia question for today is, what is the song that Michael is considering adding to the mixtape he's making for Holly?
I am downloading some N3P music for a CD mixtape for Holly.
Maybe too easy, maybe not. Gotta get an easy one every now and then. Anyway, we have a lot to get to. Pretty excited, so let's go.
I understand nothing.
So first I want to talk about the insane amount of callbacks in this episode. So here's a quick list. Not remembering Hank's name is a thing.
I don't think he's gonna take anything.
Okay, security guard.
The use of the word perfect.
So the timing's perfect. And that is the first time I've ever used the word perfect in here.
But once a year it all falls on the same Friday. That's today. I call it the perfect storm.
Michael forgetting about Jim and Pam.
Yes, you can. You're single, I'm single. It'll be awesome.
I'm not single.
Who are you dating?
Pam.
That's still going on?
I have a little bit of experience in office romance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, with who?
We've been through this.
Pam?
Yes.
This is the second time Dwight destroyed his phone as a result of a prank.
Abort mission, destroy phone. Destroy phone.
Kevin and his M&Ms.
I keep them here at my desk so that everybody doesn't take them.
Well, that is a very safe place for them.
Dwight reassuring Meredith that the raccoon isn't rabid. Say that 5 times fast.
It's not rabid. Shh.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Get it out. Come on.
Michael's Yoda impersonation isn't actually new.
Sit on floor and put together chair we will.
Much advice you seek.
Do you know who that is? Fozzie Bear.
Yoda.
Holly's final talking head in this episode, which we're going to get to in the deeper meaning, is a callback to Diversity Day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Hey, we can go.
Not a bad day.
Michael's infatuation with the Baylor's brought up.
Baylor, I hardly know her.
Damn it, Michael, pay attention, man.
This is very boring stuff. Why don't you take a tour? Have you seen the Baylor?
And this rock?
Suck on this.
Okay, that's not really a callback. It's just one of my favorite bits from this episode.
Who thought it would be hysterical to give Toby a rock for his going away gift?
You did.
No!
You made me rap it.
And you have to love Pam goading Michael here.
I am going to give Toby.
Your watch?
Yes, I am.
And that brings us to this watch, something that I haven't covered on the show yet. So Michael's super proud about his watch. So much so that the plaque on his wall throughout the series is not from a college degree.
What college did you go to, Mike?
Let's go!
It's his certificate of authenticity. But the kicker is, that isn't how you spell Seiko. Meaning that Michael has a certificate of authenticity for a fake watch.
That's my watch.
It's one of those subtle things that I appreciate about the character of Michael Scott. I started this season by saying that this was Michael's season. I'm gonna wrap it up saying that this is Michael's season. Last episode, we explored the complete and utter dismantling of Michael Scott that's occurred over the last year. And in this episode, we finally get to see some things come together for him.
And that is that we are all very lucky to have her here.
And Carell kills it in this one. Like the dancing, this bit that's become a meme, and of course, Goodbye Toby. Michael's parody songs are the best.
Someday I would love to hear Beers in Heaven.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Actually, too soon. It's very sexual.
I've always wondered how beers in heaven could be too sexual. Michael doesn't really get nuance, so there's no chance that this was anything but the truth. Anyway, this is as good of time as any to talk about the Michael Scott parody song, Contestants, the top 3. Because I'm filming this in the past, I'm gonna zap over to my mic to announce the winners. Wobble, 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 wobble. Okay, so we've had some great entries in the Michael Scott parody contest, as in some of you should probably consider doing more of this kind of thing. But anyway, I have selected the top 3 entries, and they are Anthony Thomas with his parody of Mr. Lonely called Goodbye Toby. Mr. Thomas also submitted a not safe for this channel version of Holla Back Girl, so have fun imagining Michael Scott singing that. Next up is Alberto Chavez with his parody of You and Me by Lifehouse. And he really leaned into Michael's hatred of Toby. And last but not least, we have username Dude Wayne's parody of You Got a Friend in Me, entitled You Got a Dundee. Dude Wayne's gonna get a special prize no matter what, as he was the only contestant who performed his own song. All of these lyrics are gonna be in the description of this video. I just think are all set to perform these on behalf of the writers. But 2020 is what it is, and a family emergency made it impossible for her to perform these. I do have a backup singer already, and I should be able to get all 3 videos up and out the door on Friday or Saturday at the latest. But here's a sneak peek of You and Me.
Nothing to lose, 'cause it's you, Toby. Your own wife hated you, we all know why you make me wanna burn my eyes.
So in the meantime, thanks to everyone who submitted entries, congrats to the finalist, and once the final video is up with all the entries, you, the audience, are going to vote on who the winner is. So come back to the channel later and make sure you vote on who you think should win. Next week, during the Season 4 wrap-up, I'm going to announce the grand prize winner. I'm very excited about it. And let's jump back into the field guide. I think I was talking about how awesome Carell was. So Chris, take it away, you bald, bearded little man. Wobble, 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 wobble. Okay, so back to Carell's performance in this episode. This line gets me every single time.
You cheated on me? When I specifically asked you not to?
There's a lot of stuff in this episode that makes you think about unfilmed events. Like imagine the pillow talk between Michael and Jan, in which Michael asks very specifically for her not to cheat on him. But that does lead us to a segment that I'm gonna call Conspiracy Corner. There's a lot of unanswered questions presented in this episode, starting with Propecia.
You never touched my Propecia or my Accutane, did you?
No.
Good.
Is this why Michael's hair goes from this to this? And Jan's pregnancy. We kind of covered it in the dinner party, but there's theories galore here. The straightforward thought is just to take her word for it.
Just any sperm bank. I mean, this is a really, really great place. It's amazing, actually.
Then there's another idea that Michael actually might be Astrid's father, but that does seem unlikely.
You always used to be very cautious. Wear 2 condoms.
No.
Then there's a deleted scene from the baby shower in Season 5, where we potentially get the idea that Kevin might be the father.
Maybe I'm the father.
Well, this is a highly exclusive establishment.
Next to the IHOP?
Or, and what I tend to lean towards, the baby is Hunter's. And that actually does make this a little sadder.
You cheated on me? When I specifically asked you not to?
But that's not the only conspiracy theory in this episode. When Andy's proposing, he introduces these people.
My parents are here. Andrew and Ellen Bernard, thank you for sharing in this joyous moment.
Who are definitely not these people we see later in the series.
Mr. and Mrs. Walter and Ellen Bernard!
And obviously it's just a recast, but hey, maybe there's something more there actually happening in universe. As ridiculous as it may be, Andy, I could very easily see Andy being the kind of guy that hired some actors or buddies from Cornell to stand in as parents. But I love this shot. With Dwight in the background, it's just framed so well. And while I'm talking about clever framing, you can see Kevin bouncing in the bounce house during this shot. And the last theory I think that this episode presents is, how did Ryan get found out?
It's the temp. Look.
Oh my gosh.
The temp.
Is that the police?
Yes.
Jim makes this threat.
Care enough about this job to actually fight back, but you're wrong, because I do and I will. So you can keep trying to push me out of this place, but guess what? I'm not going anywhere.
And then not too long later, Ryan's getting carted out. The office staff knew that he shouldn't be double hitting the system, and this is on the heels of Jim being told this.
Nope, I didn't. I just logged it in.
All right, try to be a team player here, Jim. Log it in the website.
All right, well, it already went through.
Don't worry about that. Just relog it.
Do any of these theories have merit? Guys, I don't know. Theories are so much fun to me to talk about, but it doesn't mean they're real, right?
I'm pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real, man.
Okay, and the last thing we need to talk about is the band who's accompanying Michael is Craig Robinson's real-life band who call themselves The Nasty Delicious. You can find a ton of clips of them playing on YouTube. Check it out if you want.
Jazz is stupid! I mean, just play the right notes!
And with that, let's dive into the deeper meaning.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
Okay, I really like this episode because there's a ton of build-up to an event that never happens. Twice.
I'm going to propose tonight. Holy crap.
I am totally gonna bang Holly. She is cute and helpful, and she really seems into me.
And that's what I like about this one, because that's what life is like sometimes.
Hey, what's the group that was from Scranton and made it big? Is that you too?
Yes. You don't love Holly.
Krasinski's doing some cool stuff in the scene though, when he starts by trying to sell Michael on the idea of going slow, but ends up going into this rabbit hole into his own mind. And while I personally feel that this arc is a little rushed,
how dare you?
I get that there was a lot of season 4 story that was cut due to the strike. So it is what it is. But when you look at Michael and how he operates, he's not a very low-key guy.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
But man, is it fun to watch him try in this episode. He seems to have changed his ringtone from My Humps to a basic one. Then there's this great moment.
It was easy to get in, but impossible to rise up.
That's what a lot of places are like that.
There's something about this episode that just puts a smile on your face. And that's due to Michael finding some happiness, or at least hope. This is the point in the series that I think the writers have almost completely changed the character of Michael Scott from the worst to someone who we're all genuinely on his side.
Acting!
And we want him to find some happiness, and Holly is kind of a female Michael Scott.
Going out of town.
Oh, so you can't make my orgy?
I mean, she's not, and we're gonna get into that more next season, but while most of this episode sets up this love story, it ends with this dark, self-destructive tone. And the same thing happens to Jim and Pam. And while we should be happy about a proposal like this,
I said okay.
She said yes! And the crowd goes wild!
it seems pretty clear that this isn't gonna go well. And yep, that didn't take long. The message of this one seems to be about knowing when to act and when to hold off. Jim has to decide to make the next move in his relationship, but also on whether or not to fight aggressively for his job. Pam's making the choice to pursue art school, something that honestly shows a vast difference between Roy and Jim.
Dreams are just that. They're dreams. They help get you through the day. Like the thing about the terrace, it's nice.
Guess he just got into the Pratt School of Design.
No way. What did I say? I said that they love those sketches. Congratulations.
Oh.
But there's something cool about her talking head. She's got her back to the outside window, and I can't remember another time that she does this as she's normally here, meaning that there's something for her to finally desire that's outside this office. And that's with Jim, because that's also the same direction he's always facing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a working office and not a French beach?
But also in this episode, Angela has to decide whether to stand up for herself or not.
Let me be clear. There is simply no money for anything other than a cake and to develop a few more slides, although Toby won't be in them.
And Phyllis has to also.
Sorry.
Kicking off the party wars of season 5.
Cool. A bouncy house.
Michael also has to decide whether to pull back the reins on his normal overboard style or not.
Who do you think you are?
Toby.
Yeah.
And then he has to decide if he wants to kind of be a daddy.
I'm going to be kind of a daddy.
And we're shown time and time throughout the last 2 seasons that Toby should have acted and missed his opportunity.
Does anyone have a camera here? Camera here. Camera here. Does anyone have a camera here?
No one has a camera here.
Okay.
I don't think there's a real moral here, and that might be the point, that life is full of these twists and turns, and then we have to roll with the punches. We see a complex, multi-angle story being weaved here, and if you took the comedy out of these plot lines, it'd almost be an episode of daytime television. With the comedy and the overall sheen of hope throughout, this one definitely shows a stark difference between the beginning of season 4 and this one. But we're gonna get more on that next week for the wrap up, and with that, let's rate this thing.
This is the worst.
All right, the cold opening. You guys know I'm a sucker for Jim Dwight prank cold openings, and this one delivers.
Oh my goodness, you sound sexy.
It's good. It's unfortunately not great. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, and that's probably because on a Jim Dwight prank curve, this one's not that awesome.
I'm confused.
And that might not be fair, but moving on, this episode, if you told me that Goodbye Toby was one of the highest rated episodes of the series on IMDb, I would honestly have been a little shocked. Hour-longs are very hard to get right, as we've seen a lot in this season. But I'm gonna give Goodbye Toby a 4 out of 5. I battled between that and a 3 out of 5. I think I was swayed by the popular opinion here just a little bit. This is a good episode of The Office. There's honestly a ton more in my notes I didn't even really get to. But I think this video would have been longer than the episode itself if I did all that. So here's what we got. And if I'm looking to critique, I will say this one seems just like an hour-long setup for season 5. And maybe it wouldn't have felt that way had Dinner Party been the finale. Instead, the arc of this season feels simply like it ends without much going on. But we'll get more into that in the next episode. So that's what I think about Goodbye Toby. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments, along with Conspiracy Corner stuff, and along with the comment contest. Don't forget to look for that poll. It's gonna be a channel post later today. If you don't find it on your feed, just remember to go back to my channel, click community, and you'll see it right there. Thanks so much for watching. Looking forward to season 4 wrap up. We'll see you then.